Ladies and gentlemen, we have a new Secretary of State. How are you guys all doing? Welcome to the channel. I am Ty Smith. You're watching my channel, Modern Renaissance Man. I appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to view my content. Make sure that if you are following me, that you're following me on all the platforms you see above and below, and hitting this like button right here is how my content can consistently be recommended to you, so make sure you do that. If you are subscribing to the channel, make sure you hit this like button, the bell button. That way, when I do post a video, you can be notified. I'm sorry, I'm so used to saying like and all that stuff all the time. My mind is just geared on autopilot mode to say that. So yeah, when you do hit the bell notification, a lot of times a little category will come up that says all notifications, some notifications, or none. So make sure you set it to all if you do want to get notified when I do post a video. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is not going to be that long of a video, but Marco Rubio has been selected by Trump himself to be the Secretary of State. Now, with that being said, I don't think that came with any type of rumblings or groanings or anything like that, like what we see going on with the House Senate leader majority with them, because there's been some stuff going on with that, but we'll get to that later. My whole purpose of saying this is that it was met with no adversary, so to speak. At least I don't know of any right now. So anyway, Marco Rubio was selected, and without further ado, this is how this went.
Let's bring in Harris Faulkner, anchor of the Faulkner Focus and co-host of Outnumbered. Harris, you and I watched this on your earlier shows today as it unfolded. And, you know, just looking at that moment again and now learning that President Trump walked in there with a list on his agenda. And I know Susie Wiles was with him, and she has been working very closely with him on this meeting. Your thoughts?
Well, and on the other side of the aisle, you saw that Jake Sullivan joined the White House press secretary to take questions about those moments, too. So there were other people who were in the constellation of that meeting that was nearly 2 hours long. The moments on camera and the moments that were to be consumed by the public, though, Martha, you and I both noted when this was happening live, that we took from the Oval Office were very decidedly short. I now, learning more information, I have two questions. First of all, what was on the list from President-elect Trump, and how were those questions addressed by the current president? And was there somebody else in the room who was answering those questions on his behalf? You know, President Biden just met with the president of Israel, Herzog, in the Oval Office. And you ask then, well, why hasn't some of that sort of support happened previously, 403 days into the war between Israel and the Hamas savages, the terrorists that invaded on October 7th. And I would want to know that. I would want to know, was that one of Trump's questions? Did Biden obligate the United States to anything with Israel that we don't publicly know? Is he backing them?
It's a good question. Marco Rubio will indeed become the next U.S. Department of State head of the Department of State. So he will be our Secretary of State, working overseas, obviously, and dealing with the wars that are going on, both between Ukraine and Russia and Gaza and Lebanon and Israel. And he was, there was a piece of tape I saw the other day, yesterday, I think, of Senator Rubio making it very clear to a reporter in the hallway, he is against any ceasefire with regard to the Israel war that's going on with Gaza. He wants the hostages returned. He wants them to reach their goals of obliterating Hamas before any ceasefire is discussed. So your reaction to this news, we've been waiting for it for a couple days since the leak of Rubio as Secretary of State.
Look, the audience heard me just say it. I said, wow, because we were just talking about that. And that video that you speak of in the hallway at the Capitol has now gone viral in the last 48 hours of him saying, you know, no, we will not be giving a ceasefire. Hamas then just within days has been indicating, well, wait a minute, with Trump coming into office, what does that look like for them? He's going to draw a hard line on that, and that'll be interesting, that part of it. But the other thing with Marco Rubio as senator is that he has been very clear on down the road where he stands with regard to our allies. There's been no shades of gray where he is concerned, and that is a complete opposite of what we're getting with the Biden administration. So you will probably see some moves that you might not have seen. For instance, with Ukraine, I'm interested now even more what it means when Trump promised months ago that if he were elected again, previous to January 20th, he would start to reach out to these leaders. One of his first 3 or 4 calls were with President Zelensky in Ukraine and Putin in Russia. So now it starts to kind of take some texture with it. Now we kind of understand this was the president-elect's pick, and you heard a lot of things. Will it really be Rubio? He makes history, the first Hispanic man to lead in that position. This is a big deal on a lot of different fronts, but don't miss it. The Latino vote just got a hat tip.
Yeah, absolutely. Senate Foreign Relations Committee, Marco Rubio ran for president against President Trump. They have had their acrimony over the years, but they have found their way back, obviously, to a good relationship. And this is a team that will work very closely when it comes to our communications with Europe, with Ukraine, and obviously in the Middle East, where there's a clear focus. When you look at we've got a Ukraine envoy coming in, Ukraine ambassador, you have all of these entities, and Middle East envoy as well, very good friend of President Trump's, will take that Steve Witkoff will take that role. So it's all coming together as we watch who's going to be on this team. Harris, great to be with you earlier today.
Always.
And thank you so much for joining me at the top of the show.
So, okay, we saw all that. We heard all that. Now, I got to tell you guys, from being for being a Floridian, Marco Rubio has definitely been one of those people that seem to have pledged his loyalty to Trump. Now, a lot of people are going to have some things to say about this, Pops. Oh, he's just a puppet. Oh, he's kissing bud, blah, 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 blah. I think Trump at this point now, since he learned, Trump had 8 years of learning a lot when it comes to being in his role as a president, right? 8 years. His first term through, he said he made some mistakes. He put a lot of trust in people. He didn't know how a lot of things work, but it seems like he knows now. So I would say that, honestly, some people may not agree with this. By Trump going through his first term, then the second term was lost. I think Trump learned a lot, like a whole lot. Now, I honestly believe that it took for that loss for him to actually learn some things in the midst of that too, because Trump is a person that knows about having success and knows about having failure. So let's just take it like his presidency was a success, but then the second term was a failure. Well, through that failure, I'm almost certain that he learned a lot through that failure and what was actually harming America, who was harming America. And during that time that the current administration was in power, he learned from other people who were Republican what they were about, if they stayed consistent, if they were loyal. And as you can see, some of them didn't, which is why Pompeo was not coming in. Pompeo and Nikki Haley, Sticky Icky Nikki, are going to have nothing to do in this administration. Some of them, they showed their hand, because I really believe that a lot of them thought that he was really going to lose. But anyway, the point of saying all that is that Marco Rubio seemed to definitely have pledged his loyalty to Trump, and not only just Trump, just the overall will of the people of Florida. Rubio, DeSantis seem to have things well together and a lot of agreement, and they definitely stand for Floridians. I'm telling y'all right now, I love it 100%. So with that all being said, that's the pick. I would like to know, what do you guys think? Do you think that Trump is doing well thus far in picking who he wants in these certain areas? Because I'm going to hit you guys with the next video that's going to be dealing with Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk. So anyway, let me know what you guys think by putting it in the comments below after this video. Don't forget to do what you guys see in that cloud right there. The video regarding Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk is going to be right up there. So click up there right now to watch that. If you like to see videos that I do, and as a mix up, it will be right here. I am Ty Smith, Modern Renaissance Man, hoping and praying that every last one of you have food, shelter, and clothing. And most of all, I pray every last one of you guys in great health, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. God bless you all through Jesus.